This is the Lourdes and Chris show.
This gorgeous breath of everything refreshing and amazing is my wife. Lourdes is the reason why we have to keep adjusting the brightness on the screen so that we can accommodate for her and then me as well. I have to wear makeup to try and brighten myself up just to match her brightness. She's the brightest person in the room every time we go someplace. If we go to the movie theater, they ask her to dim it down some. And I am more excited than a popcorn kernel and a hot air popping machine.
I love that because they're like zooming, like, you know, all these, what do they call it, the micro or whatever. It's like, they're just going nuts. And they're so delicious too on top of it.
And can you imagine being that kernel? You're just like, woo, woo. And then it just gets too hot and poof, you fly out of
like
it.
Like
a transformation.
Like a dress, a fluffy dress.
A fluffy dress. And now I kind of want popcorn.
Yeah, me too.
A little butter, a little
I almost can smell it. Anyway.
Yeah, right. What have we done?
We got ourselves now we want popcorn. But this is my husband, my extraordinary, amazing, loving, caring, fill in the blank. The man is just one of those people that you just love in every part of him. And I am completely blessed to have him as my husband, my partner, my co-writer, co-host, all of it.
So just it's
Chris.
funny. It's funny she should say it, because that's kind of why this episode is late this week. Lourdes and I wear literally every hat there is to wear on this show. We're the writers, we're the producers, we're the directors, and we're trying different things because we're trying to get this out there more. We're trying to reach a broader audience. And so thank you, technology, for being just a little bit weird and making it more and more tricky for us to get that done. But we're going to get back on track soon. So this episode's a little bit late, but just a bit.
Just a bit. Yeah, and we're trying out new things, and so we want to just make sure that when we get it out there, it's just like, you know, top notch. So,
we want to get a presence out there. We're looking at maybe doing some short form videos, so we're going to do some of that. Definitely want to do more lives. We've done a couple of lives and they seem to be fun, but we just don't do it often enough. So we're going to do more of that.
I agree.
You know, different platforms like TikTok's got like things you've got to know about them as well. So anyways, we're working on it. So that's what's happening. We're still committed to getting the show out every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's when the Lourdes and Chris show should drop every week.
And next time, it's not.
It's not this time. It's all right. It's okay.
Well, we had things that we were working on that we need to get done. That was really important.
I wept, and then Lourdes consoled me, and then Lourdes wept, and then I consoled her, because that's the sort of partnership we have.
Console each other.
We read some scriptures. We feel better about it. We're all right. So we're looking to be out there more for you guys and on different platforms, and that's what's going on. So just a little behind the curtain peeky peek. And
so that's what's going on. It's keeping us really busy. And of course, we're happy that we are working with on a daily, because it's different people with different issues. And
do you want to, I mean, without going into too much details, do you kind of want to update what's happening? You're currently working with 3 different people.
Yes. And well, I tell you this, one, I was really excited because after, you know, she's going on the regimen with the recipe ebook that I put together. It's like 200 pages, and it goes to like everything you do on a daily basis from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. The journals, like this whole thing we put, you know, we kind of keep it together. They take snapshots, they send it to me, and I kind of keep it all together, see where they're at and all that kind of stuff. So we can adjust and get things going so that they can get at their optimum health. And amazing, you know, we add some supplements, you know, as things are going good. We want to add a little thing to kind of push the health to another level, because most of our foods are depleted. And it was such great news. I won't mention her name unless she gives me permission, but for meanwhile, I can say this. This particular person who has been dealing with breast cancer chose not to go conventional, but decided to do everything natural. And so it's how we end up connecting through her sister.
Right.
And long story short, she got on these specific products, and 3 weeks later, she could no longer find at all this a large lump that she used to have. Just not there. No, it's search, gone.
It's a milestone.
So this is good. So we, you know, of course, we continue the supplements, we continue the regimen. Why? Because we want to stay where it helped things turn around instead of going back to what caused it to start in the first place.
100%. And you know, like I said, like Lourdes is saying, we're respectful of the privacy. We don't want to give away too much information, but it is why we do what we do is to hear stories like that. And it just like puts more gasoline on our fire and keeps us going even harder. So we're just excited that she's reached that milestone, and we know she's just going to be amazing at the end of all this. And the reason, and it's twofold. The reason why Lourdes is having them keep journals and to take snapshots and communicate with her is because Lourdes is kind of doing, let's not call it a study because that's not what this is, but she's just kind of gathering information so she understands what is happening to people as they're going. So look at you being all brilliant.
Well, I think it's really important that, you know, if we can see what they were when they did all the, you know, when they had their medical diagnosis, where everything was at, when they shifted their diet, what, you know, what was going on, you know, whether if you end up in an argument, what time did you argue? How did you feel? What, you know, what were you taking? Everything affects us. So everything is written down in this journal, and we share, you know, they share, and then I just kind of keep everything documented, and great things are happening with each one of them. And so never mind, these are the ones that I work with directly, specifically on a, you know, on a daily and weekly basis. And then of course, others that do reach out as well. That doesn't stop.
Sure.
It's just that I'm not in depth with them. I just kind of give them the information and they take it on their own. But for those that are looking to turn things around, I do just have them contact me directly, and then we go from there.
Yeah, and all the past episodes and a lot of this information that Lourdes shares with them is available on the Lourdes and Chris show.com.
Yeah.
So just go to lourdeschrisshow.com. Also, how to reach out to us directly. We do respond, obviously. I mean, you know, so that's where you'd go to look at all of our previous episodes, as well as YouTube. Some YouTube was censored because YouTube is YouTube.
Yeah, if it's not on YouTube, there's a reason it's not on YouTube, so you'll find it on Rumble.
Yeah. We might not be on YouTube for this one. We don't know. I mean, we don't know.
It all depends.
Just kind of depends on what they do. So the reason why I was more excited than a popcorn kernel and a hot air popping machine is because of what was going on with that milestone. Really. And I just refuse to let this news get me down. But we are also excited to talk about
the solutions.
Solutions.
It's exciting when you see something going on. You're going, oh wow, you know, there's all these toxins in the air, and you know that cause cancer. That now, you know, sometimes it could be immediate. Animals are dying, and if they're dying, what do you think it's doing to us?
We haven't really said what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in general, we're not going to say specific, but all these things that are occurring and we see it, we're like, well, what can we do? And so we have a solution.
No, I think we need to just be clear. Look, guys, we're talking about
explosions,
the train derailments, the chemical fires at all these factories, these manufacturing factories. It's bananas what is happening.
And it's odd that it's happening, so many of them within a week.
Sure.
You know, usually these things happen, but you're saying like 16 in several years.
Yeah.
We're seeing that in a week.
We're talking about what's happening in Ohio. We're talking about the Texas, Florida, New York, Brooklyn.
And there's places in other countries. So now other countries are being affected. It's like, come on.
So a lot of strange chemical fires,
or too much coincidence,
or wood fires that have chemically treated wood that's burning and releasing more toxins, or metal ore factories that catch on fire.
And at the level that it's doing, it's like things like this happen, and nature things happen, but not at the degree. When it gets to where it's one after another, and this state, that state, then you wait, and this country and that country, and then you're going, now it's happening worldwide.
Yeah,
it's like at one point you're going, because I heard even today on the news and on the Spanish news, where they were like, well, the reason that happened is because when Trump was in office, he removed whatever, you know, regulation, whatever. And I'm like, well, he wasn't the president in these other countries.
Yeah. Well,
and they're all happening at the same time. So let's take that. And why didn't it happen during that time? They were gone. Why didn't it happen during his administration?
Yeah, we're not.
No. And again, nothing about political. It's just that we got to stop blaming politics and get to what's really going on.
Well, we're not trying to put on the aluminum foil hats. That's not what this is about.
But we can't be blind either.
I think it was summarized best when somebody else pointed out. You know, it's one of three things. It is either regulations have gotten slack, and so these accidents are more prone to happen. It could also be the infrastructure has gone bad, and we're just not keeping up with our infrastructure, so these accidents can happen. Or there's some underhanded dealings going on behind closed doors that we don't know about. That the point is, we're not talking about any of that. We're just saying it's happening, and it's happening en masse. And unfortunately, we're not getting away from it. I mean, if you even go back to the Fukushima nuclear disaster, right? And they utilized the Pacific Ocean to pump water into that to cool it, and now they know that fish is radioactive to this day because of that. So we're talking about a world of toxins, guys, and no matter why it is, I mean, obviously the human aspect is the one thing that we can all agree upon. It's all humans,
Well, but also think about this, you know, and obviously we're sharing these videos here, but they even talk about that these toxins that they're looking at
Mhm.
can last 500 to 1,000 years before the earth gets rid of it.
Yeah.
So meanwhile,
Well, and then it gets worse because these are dioxins, which is the most potent, one of the most potent toxins that a human can ingest or be around, released in the air over and over and over again. Especially in Ohio. I mean, when they set fire to it, that's exactly what they did. They released all these into the air.
that was a really bad idea.
Yeah, just you're scratching your head thinking, why? How could that have happened without knowledge? It's anyways.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you know, you start looking, going, okay, it's happening everywhere.
Mhm.
You know, not just in the U.S., but it's happening everywhere, and it's happening at high levels of this happening from trains to trucks to
Well, the forever chemicals that are now in the environment that you can never get out of your body, there are, they say. But
just in
what's
general,
concerning about it is it's not just that it's in our environment. It's in our environment, and
foods,
now,
it's in
yes,
our
and
water.
now, if you're a meat eater, your cattle has to eat something, so it's eating that. Your chickens eat something, it's in that. So now it's in the food source, it's in the fishes, and then it's literally on the vegetation and in the vegetation, like the vegetables and fruits that we eat, because it's in the ground and growing up into it. And so now can we trust food that comes from these places? And then the follow-up question is, like, for example, can I trust oranges in Florida now based on those chemical fires that have been going on down there? And that's a major orange producer. Like, am I going to have orange juice? And the problem is, what do I do about it?
And how do you know that what you're eating isn't from a place where it was been toxic?
How do we know that? You don't.
So you have to look at it and say, okay, what can I do then?
Yeah.
Because now we're exposed to this level, and never mind that if it happened in this state doesn't mean it is not affecting others. It's in the air.
Well, and we're talking about we're talking about, what was the statistic from 1998 to 2005? Is that right? The statistic? There was only 16 major chemical fires. And in 2021 alone, there was 5. This year alone, there have been 5. It's just like, it's ramping up, guys. So those are the major ones, and I guess my point is, those are the major ones that we know of. We don't.
That's true.
There are some smaller ones that maybe caught fire and were taken care of more immediately, and we just don't know about it. Or a chemical spill that was kind of cleaned up, and no big news. And no big news was about it. So it's not.
Well, think about the guy that was talking about, because even when they're testing, if you do, and I love what he said, he's talking about how when they test, well, they're only testing, hey, let me see if it's got these things that aren't harmful anyway.
You were the guy that made all the decisions. You got a controlled burn? Well, there's the lie. It wasn't a controlled burn, it was an uncontrolled burn. See, I'm a chemical engineer as well as a top health and safety guy. I've got undergraduate and graduate degrees in chemical engineering.
You're the first actual expert that we've gotten to speak to. In your opinion, why do you believe that it was an uncontrolled burn? Why are you using that terminology when so far everywhere else we've seen that it was a controlled burn?
You can go to a place called West Liverpool downriver, and that's where they burn hazardous waste. And in a hazardous waste situation, they very carefully control the temperature and the amount of oxygen so that they get complete combustion, right? It's time, temperature, and amount of the air-fuel ratio. There's no controlling of the amount of air that gets in there. That's why you saw all that soot. So it's not a controlled burn, because a controlled burn would have to be like in a furnace or in your car or some system where you control the fuel, in other words, the vinyl chloride and the amount of oxygen. So they didn't do that. So it's an uncontrolled burn. One of the worst ways to determine exposure in general is to smell it, because if you smell the odor, guess what? You're already exposed, right? How long have you been doing this? 30 years. I'm in most of the big named lawsuits as an exposure expert. It's a privilege. I get called in to try to figure some of this stuff out. So that's my job always, is what really happened,
But we're not going to test this. So it doesn't matter what you're testing. If you're not testing for specific harmful toxins that are very harmful to people, then it doesn't matter what that you tested.
It's true. And to your point, that does create a problem, because they're saying according to these standards, it's perfectly safe to eat. And then it's just like, well, is that a true standard of, is it safe to eat 100%? Like, for example, there's only so much radiation that they care about with those fish that come from the Pacific Ocean now. There's only so much radiation they care about. And it's just like,
Which
well,
accumulates as you keep putting it in your
sure.
system.
Is any radiation okay? There's a certain, like our kids live by a lake up in Northern California. And there is an allotment of how many fish one can safely eat from that lake without getting too much mercury poisoning. And you think, wow, wait, is there?
Why are we putting anything?
Why is one fish okay? I mean, you're still mercury.
Yeah. Mercury is very destructive to the body. It's destructive to the cells. It's destructive to the brain.
And that's from the mining that was going on. And so the first thing is that we need to call for call your state reps, call the people that are supposed to represent you in Washington D.C. and let them know we want stricter standards when it comes to our food.
Well, especially now that I seen this thing that they're passing, and they said that anytime they say in 9 months, for me it's like they already started. But they're just telling you that in 9 months. But they're now vaccinating the animals with COVID-19 vaccinations. Never mind what we're seeing with people that are taking it. Now they're going to make sure that those that don't take it still are affected, because it's still going into your system. So it's like, you did this legislation, you're creating this law to do this to these animals, but are you going to make it, how you do when it comes to this many people died, and this many people died in 2020, and I'm not doing it anymore in 2021 or 22, but are you going to do that when it comes to you injecting these animals all over the news so that everybody knows this is what they're doing?
Yeah. So
is that hush hush?
We did an episode on Lourdes and Chris show. It's been a few months now about the FDA and how the FDA forced us to kind of go to Mexico and what those standards really were for the FDA. And even then we did a call to action, like, look, we got to reach out and let them know these are not acceptable terms for us. We want our food to be more rigorously tested and make sure that they're safe for us to consume. It's ramped up now, guys. It's even more so. Like, we can't escape it now.
They're doing it to everything.
Yes.
They're doing it to our air. They're doing it to our water. They're doing it to our food. They're doing it to our bodies. I mean, those that get wheeled into the lie. And I'm going to say what it is. It's a lie.
Yes.
Because if it were true, how many of us that we know personally, and that's a lot of us, never took the stuff, and we're finding we were exposed around everybody that had these issues.
Right.
So it's like, well, no, you can't go with just these people here are fine, but the rest, it's like, okay, come on. You have to get to a point that it's like it just becomes BS.
Yeah, and so our first bit of advice is let's change the standards by which Americans are allowed to eat what negative things. And if you look at Europe as a good model to kind of keep looking at what they do, because
they're being affected too,
and they're being affected now as well. Yes, we all are. The other thing is, we've been saying it for a bit, and if you can, you need to start growing your own food.
Yeah,
it's the only way to be 100% sure that what you're consuming is 100% everything that what went into it.
And try to test your soil and your water
100%.
because these things are happening. It does go for many, 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 many miles across to other cities and states and stuff. So you may be affected, but
it's in the stratosphere now, sure.
Definitely. So thinking of that, say, well, then what can I do? For me personally, I think what we do ourselves is we don't just take this specific thing that we call clean slate, but you can add it into your water, acid, because it will get rid of and eradicate those very poisons, those very metals, those very things that are toxic to our bodies. We want those things out. If they go into our cells and into our tissue and our DNA, we want it out. We don't need it's very harmful. So these things, honestly, is why, after we research at the level we have, is why we take it ourselves.
Yes.
We put the drops in the water.
Yes.
Ain't got to worry about that.
Nope.
If I make rice, I put it into our rice with the water. So it actually makes the rice taste a lot more flavorful. By the way.
It's kind of these are more briny.
Yes.
So grow your own food. We've been saying our daughter has her own garden. It's a lovely garden.
Yes.
So every time she feeds her daughter the strawberries or the squash or anything that comes from there, she knows exactly where it came from, and it's kind of an amazing thing. And if we could just change our perspective from, Americans are really in love with our lawns. We like our green lawns and our landscape lawns, and look how gorgeous that is. If we just change our perspective from that and like, look how gorgeous my garden is.
Yeah.
You know, look
It's
at
beautiful.
yeah, it really is. It is beautiful, and it's beautiful that we're consuming. Our good friend Robert Scott Bell has his own garden as well.
Oh, we love him. I mean,
Right?
we need him back on the show again. He is just like the most.
I suspect that
He's
if
so
we,
intelligent,
Yes.
and by the way, not just intelligent, but very caring,
Yes.
very empathetic, very loving human being, who is probably one of the doctors that I'm just like blown away with because of the care that he has about people.
at the same time, he don't take no guff.
No.
Like you know, don't lie to him. He's not into that. I mean,
Nope.
he'll roll up his sleeves and
he'll expose it.
He'll expose because that's what he does.
Yeah.
We absolutely. If you don't know who we're talking about, just look up Robert Scott Bell. He's got his own show.
He's got a huge following.
He does have a huge following, but we love Robert Scott Bell. And if you were to look at how to be a better human, he's got a lot of the answers.
Yes.
And he does have his own garden, and he's very proud of that garden, and he should be.
And he's
like,
very healthy.
he's
He's
super
a very healthy vegan man.
Yes,
Yes,
he is. Yes, he is. So all this is what we're saying is like, what can you practically do at home? The other thing that we learned was to sprout your own broccoli.
Well, just in general, broccoli, alfalfa sprouts, like sprouting really, when it comes to the toxins, it actually helps.
Sure.
And you want to do that. You want to be able to eat those things. You want to be able to take those drops. You want to be able to put in supplements and eat those foods and those leafy greens and sprouts, because it's going to help you, protect you, and
Right.
keep you healthy.
Right. But to your point, the clean slate, the reason why we like it so much is because it's not like sprouting is amazing, but you're going to put some work into it to get them to sprout and then do certain things. Clean slate is just ready to go. You just put it in your tongue.
Under your tongue.
Under what did I say?
I should put it on your tongue.
No, I meant under my tongue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
put it under your tongue. Put a few drops on your tongue, and it's doing what it's supposed to do into your body and helping you remove those harmful toxins and replacing it at the same time with the nutrition that you do need to kind of build yourself and bolster
Oh,
yourself up.
absolutely. Well, you think about it, because when anything you put under your tongue, right, goes into it takes about, I think, 14 seconds to get into your bloodstream. So you're getting it into your system much quicker doing that way.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it's actually like Dr. Christina Ramos said, it breaks up that, those heavy metals, those toxins, those parasites, whatever's in there that shouldn't be there, and it's toxin in your body, it just breaks it up to nothing, so it's not harmful as it comes out, because it's really important that you do it the right way.
Well,
And simultaneously, it puts in the trace minerals and the vitamins and nutrients that your body actually needs according to what you need.
well, you were talking to that one gentleman about it, and you said that if you don't detox properly, meaning that you kind of do a really hardcore or heavy duty detox out of the gates, that's not breaking it down first and release, you can start to have autoimmune disorders.
Well, it can cause an autoimmune disorder, because especially if you're doing it really fast, really hard, and you're going, I'm going to detox my liver, and you're just doing all these things, but not in a safe way where it literally breaks it all up to nothing, so that when it comes out, it's not causing any harm. And in most detox, they're just kind of ripping things out. If it's not simultaneously replacing it with what it actually needs, it's just taken out, but now you got that space, and it can take any other toxin right back in there, and you're back to having issues. But the way this is done, it breaks it all up, and as it's taking it out, it's bringing in already what it needs.
Yeah, 100%. So we're calling for regulation changes. We're calling for people to start growing their own foods. You definitely start doing your own sprouts, guys. We've been big advocates for juicing for a long time, because juicing does help with this as well. It's giving you all the nutrients that you need. It's like eating what?
Well, it's like, you can't, like, for one, an apple.
Yeah.
150 years ago, one apple had so many nutrients and vitamins in it, but now you have to eat like a whole 24 apples to get the amount of nutrition that one apple did for you 150 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's why it's so important to do juicing and make sure it's organic, and because our soil is depleted. And this is why we do supplement.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure it's high quality supplements, which is why we always talk about the ones we take, because it really is at the highest quality.
Yes.
We did our research. So juicing, you're putting in all these apples or all the, cucumbers and kale and celery, and then it ends up having all this food, but then you have it into one glass. So it's now more condensed, more saturation into your cells with more vitamins and nutrients.
Yeah. And so there's the key there. And the thing that you need to take away from that is we need to start as a people. We need to start thinking more health conscious.
Yes.
We need to look, we said it before. We all know going to the local burger place or the burger chain and eating that greasy, not good. We all know it's not good for you.
fried, all that, yeah.
We know it.
carcinogen.
Yeah, the oils that they use to fry this stuff up, guys, is proven carcinogenic. I mean, come on, like,
Yeah.
why are you allowing your body to break down to where these dioxins that are being released into the air en masse now through all these chemical fires and train derailments? Why are we then breaking down our own body to bring in more of that, and it can attack more easily? So we're saying yes with regulation. We need to get the regulations up as far as our food standards. Yes with growing your own food and making sure you know where your food is sourced. Go organic if you can, but even then it's going to be iffy now because of all the stuff that's going on. Yes, do the clean slate, get that into your system, get your body bolstered up, and then
Honestly.
on the real basic level, guys, even if you're hearing all this going, stop doing things that you know are harmful to your body. Just stop doing it.
Yeah. And even with that, I mean, honestly, everyone knows our food is so depleted from the nutrients it needs, that we need, that we have to supplement. But just getting stuff over the counter or whatever, honestly, it's probably mostly fillers,
Sure.
probably not high quality, probably
Right.
not really doing nothing for your body, not really taking out the toxins and replacing them simultaneously. They're not, it has to be specifically created in a way so that it does that. This is bioavailable that we take. It's in a way where and by the way, because we plan to take it and we always take it, there's what I love about this company is that it allows you to go on what is called a subscribe and save,
Yes.
which just means that every 30 days they ship you out, which you ordered. And what's great about that is that you then end up getting, $15 off shipping.
Right.
So now you have free shipping every month. So I think it's after your first order. So you order your one,
Right.
pay for the shipping for that one when you subscribe and save. And then after that, every month, there is no shipping.
Yeah.
Every 4 months, you get $50 to $100 towards your food. I'd say food because it's really what it is for the body, but for your next purchase. So you're constantly saving money and getting a thing, and it's a thing you're going to do anyway.
Right.
So for us, it's like, well, that's just a no-brainer. It's not like I'm just going to buy it today. No, I'm going to always buy it. We're going to always have it. We're going to always take it. So why wouldn't I want to save the shipping? Why wouldn't I want to get money back every 4 months so I can continue to put it towards the stuff that we take? It just makes sense.
Right.
And I love the fact they did that. And they did it because they are trying to make a difference to people's lives and their health. And that's, the
Well,
lady's amazing. So
And therein lies our excitement. We're excited to let you know, look, that it's not doom and gloom.
Nope.
There's no conscription that says we're all doomed. None of that. Like, there's ways for us to counteract all this stuff that's happening, and it is happening. To think it's not is just willful ignorance.
Well, instead of thinking, oh my God, these horrible things are happening. Yeah,
Right.
It is horrible.
Yes.
But what can I do so that no matter what is happening, no matter who's behind it, no matter what is occurring,
Right.
it's not affecting me or my loved ones
Yes.
because I'm doing the right thing. So have at it. I got things that are protecting me. I got things that are pulling that stuff out.
100%.
I got things that are building me up and reversing any damage so that I'm getting back to where I need to be.
Yeah, and
Right.
reach out to Lourdes and ask for that ebook. She is looking for volunteers to kind of do that ebook journal thing so that she can kind of pay attention to what's happening to you. If you feel like you're a little bit lost, that's what we're here for. That's what she's offering up for you. So that's available on the LourdesandChrisShow.com. If you're to go take a look at that. But if you were to follow us on social media, you'd also see all those resources are available right there, or her call to the action on those different social media platforms. We're talking Facebook, Twitter, all Instagram. You're big on Instagram. I got to get bigger on Instagram.
And I tell you guys, in order for mine to keep growing, I need a whole bunch all at the same time, because what they keep doing, and it's like, it's so obvious, and it's not like I can tell people, hey, I didn't remove you. But if I get like 10 people that started following me, the very next day they knock off those 10. Even though, so I, not those 10, somebody else, because I still see their stuff on there and stuff. So I don't know who they remove. But they always keep me at a certain number for some reason. It's like I go up and then all of a sudden it starts going down the very next day.
It is weird.
Every time.
It is weird. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I've been sharing the same stuff no matter what it was, whether people like it or not. I didn't change who I am. I haven't changed the style of what I share. So everybody knows what I'm doing and what I'm sharing. All my friends know it. So whoever's being removed, it's not me. I did not remove you.
You're not us. And then we always ask and encourage people to like, follow, and share everything that we do. Because when you do so, you're reaching somebody else who, you know, might need this information because you don't know who needs to know that thing that you know.
Yep.
That's what we see every episode.
Yep, because you don't know the thing you know that someone else needs to know.
Right, 100%.
Yes.
And so if you want to know more about what we're talking about with this clean slate, you could also go to lourdeschrisshow.com. But you also want to just go to Lourdes and Chris I'm sorry, it's
Okay, so you go to therootbrands.com/Lourdes and Chris,
That's
as you
what I
see
meant.
here on the screen.
That's what I meant.
So yeah, and it's also in the description, so you can just click on there. But yes, go there. Clean slate is the main thing that one should take because of everything that's going on.
Sure.
There are things also like
and drink a lot of water with that too, guys.
yes, and start off slow. You start off with like 1 to 2 drops under the tongue, and every 3 days you raise it up to another additional drop till you get to up to 10 drops.
Sure.
Now you may go 10 drops is too strong for me. When you get to that point, say I may bring it down to 5 or 8 or 7. Depends. Everybody's different. I mean, I take sometimes 20 drops, so it just depends on the person. Yeah, I've gotten there, but everybody's different. Just and I'll say it on there. It's depends on the person.
Yeah.
But start off slow and drink plenty of water. And there's also this other one that I love, especially with everything that's going on with flu season and COVID and all that, is the immune defense shield. Really should get on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we take Restore and all of that, but just in specifics, clean slate and immune defense shield, definitely clean slate for sure.
Yeah.
And take that and get on that auto ship and get it for yourself and your loved ones. Keep yourself protected
and bolster yourself up. Kind of a shorter episode this week than we're used to because like I said, we're playing a little bit of catch up. But all that information is pertinent and things you do need to know. You can go to lourdesandchrisshow.com to check all that out. We have it all available on there, as well as other products and things that we use that we share that we believe in.
The things that we share, the things that we use. If it's on there, we have it.
100%. And so we will be back again Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is the goal. We're just trying out some new things. We're trying to, like I said, reach a wider audience is what we're going for here. And we're wearing all the hats. And so it's just up for us to get it together. So we will see you in a week. We absolutely love you. We appreciate you joining us every week. Hey, take care of yourselves, take care of your family, because that's what this all comes down to.
Yes.
And that's what makes us excited to hear that you people are. So we're more excited than a popcorn kernel and a hot air popping machine, because we hear that you folks are taking care of yourselves, and that's just so exciting. So We'll see you again in about a week. We absolutely love you.
Love you. Talk to you guys soon.